Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 and the second part of this experiment where we're taking a look at what would happen if you had the perfect player in Football Manager 2019. So in the first part we started him out at Leyton Orient. He had an incredible first season as a footballer at just 16 years old. He ended up getting 46 league goals in 46 Vanarama national matches, a fantastic record. He then moved to Manchester City for £275,000, 38 Premier League games, 23 goals. He won the Premier League Golden Boot as well, 47 goals in all competition. He had a fantastic time and he has already won so many competitions. He's got a Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League, Club World Championship, European Super Cup, Community Shield, FA Trophy and the Vanarama National League, all in his first 2 years as a professional footballer. He's also made his international debut and got his first goal for England as well. He is already on the way to become one of the best players of all time, and I'm sure he will reach that goal. Now, before we get into today's video, do hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel and enjoying this series. There'll be lots more experiments on the way, and if you are enjoying this series and would like to see another part, do drop a like on the video. I'm intending to go forward another 3 years today, and then next time we'll probably go 5 years ahead. Now, after the last episode, some of you did comment on the fact that he's a very short player, and that is true. Unfortunately, I have already simmed ahead, so today we won't be adjusting that. We'll leave it how it is, and then for the next part, if we do another part to this series, we will adjust his height, make him extremely tall, or not even extremely tall, make him a normal height and a normal weight, because he is light as a feather at the moment and very, very short. So we'll change that and see if that improves his results as a striker, because now he's at Manchester City. If we have 3 years of data come in and then we change his physical stats, it'll be interesting to see how much of a difference that actually makes. Somebody else also commented on the fact that he has 20 loyalty. I agree that setting that high means he will stay at the club for his entire career. Originally I did that to try and keep him at Leyton Orient. Obviously it didn't work, but I might lower it down to 1 and see where he moves. Other people suggested actually changing his nationality might help, because other countries might be more likely to sign him. I'd be interested to know how often English players are moving abroad in FM19, and if there is an inbuilt bias against English players doing that. I would imagine there probably is, because there is in real life as well. So that might be another interesting thing to try next time out. So do let me know in the comments if you would like to see me change any of those things, or if there's anything else you want me to change. But what we're going to do now is just go forward 3 years into the future. We'll go through his individual seasons, we'll see kind of what he's been up to, what the club have achieved, and we'll get to see how he started to do for England. At the moment he's got 2 goals in 7 games. I imagine that's going to go up quite a bit. 2020 is the European Championships, and he got knocked out of the European Championships in the group stage. But within 3 years, he will have played at his first World Cup, so a lot to look forward to. Well, we are now on to the second or the third full season of his career, but his second season at Manchester City. You can see pre-season went very, very well for City. Not too many goals for Jenkaldo Jr. He did get a couple away from home against Hamburg SV, but then against Manchester United in the Community Shield, he got the winning goal. Sanchez with the first for United, but then Milinkovic, Savic and Jenkaldo Jr. winning it there for City after 21 minutes. A really hectic 10-minute spell there. But they got the win. They then had a great start to the Premier League season. He's got Robert Lewandowski for competition up front, so he won't be starting every game. And actually, he didn't score until the 4th Premier League game of the season against Southampton, so maybe his goals could be drying up a little bit here. But then in the European Super Cup, he did get to lift another trophy. He didn't score in this game, but Gelson Martin's got the winning goals for them against Spurs. So that's 2 more trophies in the cabinet. The league then kicking off a little bit. He's starting to score a little bit more regularly. That's 4 games in a row that he got goals there. Scored the winner away from home against Newcastle as well. Lewandowski getting the winner against Milan in the Champions League. But a 3-1 win. He scored against United for the 2nd game running. They were beaten by Brighton though. No idea if he was playing in that match, but not a great result, that one. A couple of goals against Dynamo Kiev, Leicester, and then against Chelsea. Tight draw there, but bearing in mind they had 10 men most of the game, not too bad. He scored a couple of times again against Dynamo Kiev. I get the feeling he's not starting the big games at the moment, so it'd be interesting to see how many matches he has actually started. But he is still popping up with goals every so often, but I don't think this is on the same level as previous seasons. But they did go to another Club World Championship semi-final, won that one against Santos Laguna. He got a couple of goals there, and then in the final, a 4-0 win, 2 more goals there, 4 goals overall, probably the top scorer in the tournament. And then they did go through in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, more victories coming up for him, and then in the FA Cup, a 3-0 win there. Didn't score, but in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, a 2-1 win away from home against Sheffield United, of all teams. He is really not getting many goals here. This is really poor. But they are in another cup final. They also got through in the FA Cup, 1-0 win there. But Lewandowski is getting all of the goals at the moment, and Jenkaldo Jr. is nowhere to be seen. The question is he injured? He scored here away from home against Atletico Madrid, 4-1 win, great result. And then in the Carabao Cup final, they were 1-0 down. Jenkaldo Jr. got the equaliser, forced it to extra time. Men sent off on both sides after the full-time whistle had gone. But then they did manage to turn it around after falling behind again. Sterling and De Bruyne getting the goals and lifting another trophy before they were knocked out on penalties. He did score a penalty in that game. Ederson scored one as well, which is quite funny. But it wasn't enough. Gelson Martins missed, and Chelsea got all 5 of theirs in the back of the net. The league itself went pretty well. 2-0 win. 2-0 win again. Sterling getting quite a few goals. He scored in a few games in a row. And then 2-1 over Atletico Madrid. 6-2 on aggregate there. 4-0 win in the Premier League as well over Wolves. But then the Champions League quarterfinals, they were beaten 3-1. He got the away goal. That could be important if they managed to score on the other end. And they did. A 2-0 win. He scored in that one again. He scored 4 games they've played against United, and he scored in all 4 of them. And there, De Bruyne in the 82nd minute getting the goal that knocked them out. But they've got Jenkaldo Jr. to thank for making it to the semi-finals. They're on an epic winning run in the Premier League as well. He is starting to get a lot more goals at this point. And 4-0 over Spurs. He got 2 there in the Champions League semi-final. Is there another Champions League on the way? Well, they've got through to another final here, 7-1, and then in the final, a 4-0 demolition of Bayern Munich. He scored twice in that game to give them the victory. So that is a very, very successful season. That is a Champions League, a Carabao Cup, a Club World Championship, a European Super Cup, and a Community Shield. He just missed out on the FA Cup that season. That's all he missed out on. They've definitely won the Premier League as well. The following season, another Community Shield, 3-0 in that game. A decent pre-season, pretty easy one really. But they lost the European Super Cup. Salah getting 2 and Mark Bartra with 1 as well. A lot of goals being scored in the league. He got a hat-trick here. It's the first one we've seen for a while. 4-2 over Stoke. But he's scoring a lot of Premier League goals here. Certainly his scoring has picked up on the season before. A very nice run for the club generally through this period. Getting an awful lot of wins. 2-0 again, he scores against Manchester United. He can't stop doing that. But he's definitely more consistent this season. A lot more goals popping up, just 1 or 2 every so often, including the winner against Monaco. But generally, they are finding their opposition pretty easy to beat. Their only defeat that season is actually the European Super Cup against Liverpool. Even beating the likes of United, Arsenal down here as well. 2-1 win. Jenkaldo Jr. with the winner. A couple of goals against Brighton as well. Another Club World Championship. They won 2-0 against Ez Sahel. Again, Jenkaldo Jr. with a goal. And then a 5-1 win in the final. He didn't score in that match, but it's another trophy. They were knocked out at the Carabao Cup though, so again they are not going to get the clean sweep, but the FA Cup progressing pretty comfortably here through the different stages. A 2-2 draw away from home. He got both goals here against Bayern Munich. They did get past Portsmouth 3-1, and in the return Champions League game they won 4-0 at home. Another goal for him there. Then they were knocked out by United. He didn't score against United in that game. It was extra time, a 91st minute winner for United. Back-to-back defeats as well, before then drawing with Barcelona. He got an 89th minute equaliser in that game, a very dramatic finish. But in the return leg, a 5-0 crushing as they look to get another Champions League title under their belt. The league form slipping off a little bit. Beaten 2-1 by United at home as well. Jenkaldo Jr. did get a goal. Was it enough for the return leg? Oh, a 2-0 win away from home. Overturns United. Jenkaldo Jr. with the goal that settled it. They were going out as things stood, but Jenkaldo Jr.'s winner on the hour, sending them to another Champions League final. They got some revenge over Liverpool as well in the league, and they won yet another Champions League final. Jenkaldo Jr. and Robert Lewandowski starting together and getting the goals that sent them through. Well, gave them the trophy rather, didn't send them anywhere. They lost in Schmeichel's testimonial, but a 2-0 win over West Brom of all teams gave them another Community Shield. They did win the European Super Cup this time, 3-2. Good few goals popping up. I feel like he's really starting to hit his element at the moment. But because they've got Lewandowski, I don't think he's starting every game. I think he's probably not. And you can see he is just popping up with goals every so often. He's not getting as many hat-tricks or things like that I expected he would. You can see he is getting quite a few braces, but that's about it really. Beaten by FC Midtjylland. That is a shock. He was even playing in that game and they were still beaten. But wins across the board everywhere else. They are not losing many. And they probably rested quite a few players. Did they rest a lot of players? That's a very strong team to lose away from home to Midtjylland. But getting the wins here against the teams where it matters. Another Club World Championship, 4-0 in the semi and 4-0 in the final. He got 3 goals across that. 1 in the Carabao Cup quarter-final as well. So they're still going in all competitions at the moment. Could this be the season they finally do it? Lost 4-2 at Anfield. That's a bad defeat. Did they overturn it? They did not. So again, they have failed to win every single competition. But they are still going in the FA Cup, which they missed out on last time. 1-1 draw in Paris. That's going to be an interesting one in the return leg. They got through against Exeter. Exeter in the 5th round of the FA Cup. But a 2-0 win. Removed them. And then in the Champions League, second leg of the first knockout round, they did go through a 2-1 win. He scored again. He's on a little run here. In the quarter-final, 3-0 win over Wolves as well. 4-1 in the semi-final. He got the opening goal for City, but the equaliser after United had been sent down to 10 men. They also beat Juventus 3-0. That's in the quarter-final. 1-0 away from home as well. So into the semis of the Champions League. 3-1 win. He got a couple of penalties away at the Bernabeu. And then a 1-1 draw at home as well. He scored there. He loves the big games. And Lewandowski has left. Lewandowski has gone to Real Madrid. So he will now be pretty much the main man for them. They have lost the FA Cup final 3-2. Extra time again deciding that. But it is yet another Champions League in a row for Manchester City. They have won an awful lot of this competition now. They have won it 5 years on the trot. When you look at the past winners, that is quite a consistent run there. Real Madrid did it 3 times in a row, but now City have come and done it 5 times. That is impressive, it has to be said. And the Premier League as well, they've won that every single season. If we just look at the past winners here, you can see they've won it all the way back to the 17-18 season, the season before the game kicked off. Jenkaldo Jr. getting the 28 goals that season, top goal scorer, best player as well. Not leading the assists, but definitely leading the man of the matches. Salah cannot get near him, and they won the league by quite a way there. So they are winning plenty of these. The actual points totals, 9 points clear that season. There was 7 points clear the season before that, and 10 points a year before that. So they are finishing pretty comfortably at the top, losing just 1 game in the most recent season in the league, nearly doing an unbeaten. Had they won that game, they'd have finished with 100 points and unbeaten, and that would have been quite something if they'd managed to achieve it. But at the moment, he's doing quite well. The question is, how is he doing for the England national team? Well, when we left off with the England side, they had been really humiliatingly dropped out of the European Championship after losing to Iceland and Croatia. Many painful memories from that group. But they went and beat France 2-1 before then beating Sweden 5-1. He got 4 goals against Sweden, which could well be somewhat close to a record, certainly in modern times, getting 4 goals for England in a game. 3-1 against France. He got 2 goals there as well. They beat Russia 4-0. Another hat-trick for him. He is banging in the goals for England after that European Championship. That's 3, 4, 5, and then 6 more on top of that. 11 goals in the 5 games since the European Championships is quite a record. But then the next season in the World Cup qualifiers, 3-2 win there. He got a couple of goals, 4-0, a couple more goals. International League semi-final, he got the winning goal over Spain. And in the final, he scored 2 goals as they beat Denmark 4-0 to win an International League competition. Trophy. I don't know how we refer to that at the moment. But a 4-0 win there means England have won a major competition, is the first thing. But he has helped them lift it, getting the goals that fired them on the way. They also beat Brazil. This is a long winning run. 4-0 over Wales as well, 2 goals in that. Scored against Cyprus, a couple against Bosnia and Herzegovina, 2 against Greece as well. They did lose to Wales away from home, which is a little bit of a humbling against one of the other home nations, but he's still getting an awful lot of goals. And then you can see the World Cup, how it's gone here. A 2-0 win in the opening game against Cameroon. He scored there. He got 2 against Serbia as they won 3-0. He managed to get a hat-trick against Uruguay to ensure that they won that match 5-3. Holland in the second round, they won 2-1. He scored an 83rd minute winner. 5-1 against Spain in the quarterfinal. He got 4 goals there. And then in the semi-final, 5-2, he got another hat-trick to send them through against Belgium. And it was Sweden in the World Cup final. He got the second goal there. And England have lifted the World Cup. And Jenkaldo Jr. has got 1, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 14, 15 goals in a World Cup finals. Now, I'm 99% sure that is an absolute World Cup record. That is sensational. There is no doubt that he has fired England into the World Cup final. They would have, or to the World Cup, they would have lost that game had he not had his goals. That would have been a draw. That would have been a draw. That would have been a draw. There's no doubt he made the difference in all of those games. Absolutely sensational. In front of 95,000 fans at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, England won 3-0. And then immediately they went and lost to Italy in the European League Division A group. Then they won 3-2, another hat-trick. I'm looking forward to seeing his goals to game record for England. But 5-1 over Wales, 3 goals there as well. And then 2-1 over Costa Rica. And in the most recent season, you can see they've won another another International League trophy as well. 3-1 there of Kazakhstan, 3-1 in the semi-final. He got a hat-trick there against Croatia, and then in the final he scored twice as they beat France 3-0 at Elland Road as well. And they've most recently just beaten Peru. So if we go and have a look at him now, he's got 65 England goals in 42 England games. He is still sensational. His bravery is dropped by 1 for whatever reason. He's valued at £85 million and is earning £325,000 per week. That's not a bad record. His career stats here look pretty decent as well. This year he only got 17 league goals. We were commenting on how few goals he seemed to be getting that year. He did still get 39 and 49 in all competitions, so it's not too bad, making up for it in the continental competitions, if not in the league. The next year, 46 in 59, 31 in the league, the highest he's got in the Premier League, and then recently 44 in 61. He's got a great goals to game record. His average rating is fantastic. He's getting quite a lot of assists as well. But really, it's his milestones that are just completely winning it at the moment. I think it's hard to really know where to start. We can start with the awards. Maybe that's a good place to look. But there's a lot of Team of the Weeks in here. That's the trouble. But if we start where we left off before, we can ignore all the Player of the Months. We know he's going to win a load of those. He was Footballer of the Year 2020. I think that's where we left off last time. At the Golden Shoe as well for the Premier League. Best player at the Club World Championship, and he was shortlisted for the 2020 World Footballer of the Year. He did win the World Golden Ball in 2020. He won Footballer of the Year, World Player of the Year, Under 21 Footballer of the Year, and European Golden Boy in the Team of the Year as well. No surprises there. Footballer of the Year in the Premier League, Team of the Year, Players Young Player. He was third in the Golden Boot. That was the year he got 17 league goals, so not a massive shock, but doing really well across the board. Golden Boot in the Champions League as well. Best player in Europe. A lot more league honours coming his way. And again, Footballer of the Year, World Player of the Year, World Golden Ball, European Golden Boy. He is undoubtedly the best player in the world at this point. Top goal scorer in the Premier League as well, Players Young Player. And then Golden Boot at the Champions League for another year. He did win the Golden Shoe. I imagine, yep, that's for Europe. which he has won for a few seasons. Antoine Griezmann pipping him one year. That was the year that he didn't get that many Premier League goals, so it's not a big shock. But overall, he's been doing pretty well. It doesn't seem to show the World Cup awards there for whatever reason, but if we look at his biography here, you can see that he's been recognised for his talents with several awards. Panorama National League Player of the Season, rightly the first one that comes up. Top goal scorer there as well. Club World Championship Best Player 4 times. World Under-21 Footballer of the Year 8 times. That seems like it's probably not correct. Has he also been the Golden Boy 8 times? No, he's been the Golden Boy 4 times. So these numbers are out for reasons that I cannot tell you. Footballer of the Year 4 times as well. It seems to have doubled all of his achievements, which is a bit of a weird bug. We'll have to report that. 6 Premier League top goal scorers. I think that's 3. That is 3. You can see he's pipping Salah and Kane to the post. Kane did win it this year. He came 3rd that year. But the year before that, he was the Golden Boot winner. So he is racking up the Golden Boots. He's also won the European Golden Shoe, World Footballer of the Year, World Golden Ball is the big one. Beating Mbappe. Willem Grubels, not a player I've come across before, 21-year-old Frenchman, has joined from Monaco. Maybe a little wonder kid for you to keep your eyes on. He won't be cheap pulling in from Monaco, but they are doing badly at the league at the moment, so you never know. Beating out Griezmann and Suarez that year. Messi and Ronaldo not appearing on these shortlists in a way that they were before. But you can see all of his awards there. He has done fantastically well. And the question now is, what do we do with him from this point on? Because if we just keep him at City, it's going to get a little bit boring. I am tempted to release him from the club and see where he goes next. I do have all the leagues loaded. It doesn't matter where he goes. I'm going to change his loyalty. I'm going to make him taller. I might even change his nationality. I'm less eager to do that because I want to see England win some more competitions. Because it's great to see England winning a World Cup, even if it is just an experiment in Football Manager. The fact that we can look at their competition screen, it says 2022, 2021, 2023. That's pretty nice seeing all of that. So we'll probably leave him as English, but I might release him and just see where he goes next. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments. If you are still enjoying this experiment, do drop a like on the video and it'll let me know that you do want another part. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. But until next time, see ya.